Welcome back, everyone. It's Kirok here. Welcome back to another ALS EarthWalk episode. And this time, for the first time, we're doing it live, not live. One of these days I'll stream this event, but we're doing it from downtown Toronto at Ashbridges Bay Park. So this is my first time attending it at this location. Normally we do it at Earl Bales Park each year in May. It is now September, mid-September, so we're doing it downtown Toronto, and the park is beautiful, the day is beautiful, it's supposed to be amazing. And you can see over there in the background, they are actually setting everything up. I help to move around tables and tents and get things ready for people who are going to come attend the event, do things such as take photos on the photo wall, activities, even donate. The whole reason we're all getting together for this is to help people with ALS. As you may know, my mom passed away from ALS about 6 months ago. She had a long, tough battle for 7.5 years. It is not a simple disease. It is not an easy disease for the person who's affected, and the person who's affected means the entire family is affected. It affects everyone it touches. So today we're here to do our part. We're here to make our donations. We're here to celebrate those who we've lost and also help those that are still here, and we have a fighting chance to make a difference, cure this disease forever. So guys, I'm going to bring you through, I'm going to show you a little bit of the setup, and then I'm going to bring you through the walk and through the event, and then we'll bring it back at the end, and I'll let you guys know how much we've actually raised to help fight this terrible disease. I'll see you in a bit.
Hello everyone! Welcome to the 2019 Downtown Toronto Walk to End ALS. How's everyone doing today? You know, as a proud Torontonian, I have to tell you something. I was in Mississauga before, you know those 905ers? And when I asked them how they were doing today, were they ready to walk today, it was so much louder. So I'm wondering if you can do better than that. Come on, let them hear you in Mississauga. How are you feeling today? That is better. It's so great to see so many people here on a beautiful day. My name is Dr. David Taylor. I am your MC for today, but I am not just your MC. Standing before you, that's right, is the 1985 St. Thomas Elgin Ducks Unlimited Duck Call runner-up and 6th place out of 6 people in a municipal French spelling bee, and the proud owner of a career amateur wrestling record of 0 wins and 1 loss. That's right, the autograph line starts here. And I'm also the Vice President of Research for ALS Canada, but let's talk about my real accolades first. So anyways, it's good to see everyone here today. This is your day. We're so appreciative of all the passion and effort and fundraising that you do. We're very grateful for that. We know you want to take photos today, so please go over to our photo wall if you want to take pictures. Put them up on social media, get them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and make sure you please hashtag hashtag Walk to End ALS or at ALS Canada, or both. We would really, really appreciate that. Now, we have a number of special guests here today that are going to come up on stage, and I would like to introduce our first special guest. We're very grateful to have her here. She is the MPP for Beaches East York. Please welcome to the stage Rima Bergs-McGowan.
Thank you so much, David. I'm going to do the same thing you did. Thank you so much, and thanks so much to ALS Canada for having me here today. And I just want to thank each and every one of you, human or canine. There's a whole bunch of you dogs here who've come out to do this walk. It's so super important. ALS Canada does such incredibly important work. This is a brutal disease. There's no getting around this. I had a close friend who passed from this disease, and it's super important that you're all here today. ALS Canada supports, it's the community support, and it is the research that will provide hope. David isn't going to talk too much about it, but he was telling me that he knows all sorts of cool, nerdy facts about how far ALS research has come in the last little while. So your work here today makes an enormous, enormous, enormous difference. Thank you so much. You know yourselves how important this is, and it's really incredible to be here with you today. Last night I was out walking my dogs. I don't live all that far from here, and we were out, and all of a sudden the heavens opened and it began to pour, and my 100-pound Bouvier looked up at me and he's like, "Mommy, what are we doing here? Get me home fast." And I was really worried it was going to be like that today, but it's absolutely glorious. I hope you enjoy your walk and the community that's come here, and that you feel hope and love and support, because that's what we all need. Thanks so very much.
Thank you, Rima. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your passion around ALS. Now, the provincial government is actually a really important part of what we do. We would really like to see a day when the Ontario healthcare system provides sustainable support and more access to services for people and families affected by ALS. And that's actually why we provide a voice for people with ALS through advocacy in Queen's Park and on Parliament Hill. And we do, along with the community, do that advocacy for such things as better care and community support services, for better, timely, and equitable access to proven ALS therapies, and also for sustainable support for research funding. Now, next we have another very special guest. It is my pleasure to be able to call up to the stage the chair of our board of directors, Josette Melanson. Now, Josette joined the board in 2013 because of her leadership in the technology, health, and finance sectors. She has recently this year been elevated to the chair of the board of directors, and she's actually brought a challenge to ALS Canada to not just have impact now, but also to think about how that's going to strategically move forward in the future to continue to have more and more impact for people living with ALS. She's actually going to challenge herself next week at the plane pull to end ALS by being a part of a team of 9 other people to pull a 37,000-pound plane at Billy Bishop Airport along the runway as fast as possible. But do you know how good she is? She's so good that I've heard she can strategically convince the plane that it wants to pull itself across the finish line just with a good hard stare. So that's what you want in a board chair. And now I am very pleased to introduce to you Josette.
Thank you so much, David, and thank you all for being here today. When I joined the board 6 years ago, I didn't really start with a strong connection with ALS. My parents had a friend that was affected by it. So for me, it's really about what can I do to help this organization and the patient. So when we have discussions at the board, it's always about the patient and the patient's family and what can we do to help. So 6 years ago is more than enough time to become familiar with the cruelness of the disease and understand the urgent need for a different reality for the disease. We believe it's about time to end ALS. What do you think? I know you feel the same way. To look out all of you that are here today, it's absolutely remarkable. I want to take a moment to just focus on the importance of you being here today. So our organization is all funded by donations. We don't get any government funding. So your ability to fundraise and provide funds to our organization so that we can continue and help the patient is really important. I have a speech. Your generosity in raising funds and making donations are helping create a better reality for people and families living with ALS. Because of you, we can provide practical and emotional support for home visits, support groups, loaned equipment that often represent freedom as people cope with the increasing mobility challenges. Last year alone, ALS provided 2,600 pieces of equipment at a cost of $1.3 million. So some of your fundraising is going towards continuing to support the patients with those kinds of equipment. Your support in giving people affected with ALS a voice at the federal and provincial government. So we've been stepping up our advocacy efforts to make sure that your voices, your concerns are taken into consideration when government's thinking about funding and how they're going to treat the patient population. We continue to highlight the problems and work with government to identify solutions. And your fundraising dollars is also put towards the best research in Canada. We have a research program where we have a very pragmatic way of evaluating the research grants so that the fundraising that you do, that you provide back to ALS Canada, is really going to the best research that we think will provide the outcome or the problem that we're trying to solve in order to facilitate the journey of the patient and their family. We've made more progress, and if you want to talk about research, David's the guy. He was telling us we've made more strides on research in the last 5 years than the last 100. And that's really, the research that we're able to fundraise, but also the research outcomes that are happening in the marketplace. Last year, ALS Canada invested $1.5 million in research, thanks in part to the Walk to End ALS. Now that's a reason to celebrate all this funding that's going towards the patient population. What do you think? Can we keep it up? All right. So I would like to just recognize the top teams that have been fundraising. So let's keep our applauses. First team, Team RBC's Feather of Hope. Team Kaylee. Mary's team. Team Litherland, and Team Wendy. Now the top fundraisers: Jonathan Corber, Denis Blais, Jerry Doyle, Christine Lee, and Franco Proya. And I know that beyond the teams and the people I've named, there are many, many more that do a tremendous fundraising work. I was telling some of the folks with the plane pool, this is my first experience in fundraising. It's not as easy as it looks. So thank you so much for everybody that's doing the efforts to collect those donor dollars. I want to thank our provincial sponsors, Lexus on the Park, for their general support of the walks in Ontario, as well as other sponsors and supporters. RIT Vacations, Osri Bakery, and the Canadian College of Massage and Hydrotherapy. So thank you. Last but not least, I'd like to thank MPP Rima Burns-McGowan for joining us today and voicing her support of our community. We've gathered here today to support one another, to celebrate, and hope for a future without ALS. Thank you again for your ongoing commitment, and don't forget, donations are open until the end of the year. Keep fundraising. Have a great walk, everybody, and see you at the end. Over back to David.
Thank you so much, Josette. Okay, so we have a couple of other shout outs here today. First of all, the volunteers. You'll see many of them, a lot of them over there with the light blue shirts. These are the people who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to put this all together. So if you see them, say thank you for what they've done. In fact, why don't we give them a round of applause right now for the volunteers? Awesome. I also want to give a shout out to some of the individuals here who are ALS ambassadors. We're very grateful to have ALS ambassadors who can help send our messages out to the community and also to keep us grounded in why we do what we do. So first of all, I'd like to say a shout out to Jonathan Korber again, who is here honoring his mother, Wendy. We also have Margot Algie, who you may have noticed from the campaign recently for Every August Until a Cure. We have, as mentioned before, Team RBC Feathers of Hope. I think NASA's going to see a big bird from outer space in the satellite images for these yellow feathers that I'm seeing everywhere. So thank you for coming, Tom and Denis, Tom Dando and Denis Blais. Also like to have a shout out to some other very strong supporters of our organization, Peter Wood and Utah's and their family for coming out again. They're a previous Lead Walk family. Christine Lee and her family who have supported us for many years as well. Thank you so much. So many amazing people here today. Now, I just want to also direct you to a few other things that we have here today. We do actually have a massage tent and some kids zone with some face painting. So when you see me later, I'm going to look really relaxed and, you know, I'm probably going to look like a tiger. And we also have the nerds over there. We have the ALS team investigators. And as a fellow nerd, I'm suggesting you go over there. You can learn about some cool science experiments under the tent right over there. Now, as I segue to that, that's research, and we've already talked about advocacy, but your funds also go towards our national research program, as Josette said. That's what's near and dear to my heart. And as she said, we have come a very long way in research. In fact, it's a very big week for research in ALS here with our National Research Program. This Tuesday and Wednesday, we will be having an international peer review panel of experts from Europe and the United States who will be coming together in Toronto to discuss what are the best projects in Canada to be able to recommend our funds going for the most impact towards ALS. We're then going to fly, myself and our research coordinator are going to fly to Montreal for a conference where we have some of the best Canadian researchers and some of the best international researchers sharing their data, forming collaborations called the Symposium André Delhomme. So we're very excited for that. And sandwiched in the middle will be a summit meeting with a bunch of international people coming together to help develop an initiative you're going to hear about in the days and months to come called Capture ALS. Now, over the years, I've been asked many times, why did I get ALS? Why did my loved one get ALS? Why do they have faster progression than somebody else? Why did it start in my hand, or why did it start in my voice? And inevitably, the answer is always, we just don't know. Well, that's not good enough, and we need to focus more on human ALS and to understand the human disease better. So Capture ALS, which stands for Comprehensive Analysis Platform to Understand, Remedy, and Eliminate ALS, will be one of the most comprehensive means of studying human ALS to join in with the rest of the world in an open science manner to really get to the idea of why one person is so different from the other and to hopefully be able to use that to get to therapies at a faster rate. So we're very excited about that. And so then the last thing that also Josette alluded to that your funds are going to today are our client service program. And it's such an important piece. As she mentioned, that is our equipment program to provide support for people living with ALS today. But it's also part of our direct service model, which involves these really amazing individuals called regional managers. And I'm sure many of you have connected with regional managers. We have a wonderful one with us here today, Sarah Reedman. These are the frontline individuals for our organization. They offer to go to people's homes and help to navigate the journey of ALS with the family, to respond to their needs, to connect them to other healthcare providers, and to facilitate whatever they can do in the community to help that journey happen easier. They also provide support groups and many other things, and their job cannot be done justice in just an explanation here up on stage. So, we're going to ask Sarah Reedman, Regional Manager, to come up here, and she's going to introduce our lead walk family, the Mitchell family, which we're very excited to have them with us today. And so without further ado, here's Sarah.
Good morning, everyone. I too have a speech because I can't be trusted to speak freely. So what a fantastic morning, and I'm so glad that the weather has panned out for us. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Reedman. I am the Regional Manager for Downtown Toronto. My role is to support people and families here in Toronto who are living with ALS. And as I tell people when I first meet them, my job is to help them navigate the system, provide resources and support, be an advocate, and work alongside other community health partners to ensure that they have the best access possible and support. Sorry, my hair's in the way. I see so many familiar faces in the crowd today, people who have welcomed me into their homes, who continue to welcome me into their homes, and who I regularly see at Sunnybrook Clinic and or support groups. Thank you so much for being here today. I can't tell you how touched I am that you guys made it out. I know it takes an awful lot of effort and logistics to get here for many of you. I would also sincerely like to thank those of you that I know have joined us here today in honour and memoriam of a lost loved one who I knew well as well. It can be very easy to walk away from the ALS community following such a difficult journey, but you are here today supporting ALS Canada while honouring your loved one, and I wish to thank you for that. We all know that when a family receives an ALS diagnosis, it comes with a lot of questions and no clear path forward. There is so much to navigate and to think about, all of which is made more challenging when the needs keep changing along the way. But what's important to know is that you are not alone on this journey. That is why this event means so much to me. I love seeing everyone come together to show the power of community and all the love and support that is here for one another. And on that note, I'm very happy to introduce to you the Mitchell family. I first met Mary and Mike in April 2018 when I received the registration from the ALS clinic and was kindly welcomed into their beautiful home. And I do continue to come and visit, and I love it. From day one, I have been astonished by their incredibly positive attitude, and it is an honour to be a part of your journey. And now I will pass you over to some beautiful Mitchell girls who I've met today for the first time. So please come up.
So thank you, Sarah, so much. That was really lovely. We're so grateful to have so many people here today representing Mary's team. Thank you so much, Mary's team. Thank you. We're here to show my mom how much she's loved and how important she is in all our lives. Mary, my mom, would also like to thank her wonderful family and friends who have made her feel so loved and almost normal, as she puts it, throughout this unexpected life's journey. My mom was diagnosed with ALS in February last year. It was a huge shock, and the first thing my parents did was book a holiday to their beloved England. So, yeah, woo! Sarah Reedman, my mom's regional manager from the ALS Society, she also happens to be from England, and then she came to visit, as she mentioned. My mom and dad said her calm, unhurried, loving presence made them feel reassured that they were not alone in all of this. Sarah suggested lots of helpful things they didn't even know about, and she's my mom's go-to person if she has any questions at all. ALS Canada is amazing. They've supported my family over the past year and a half in so many ways. They've provided my mom with a transport wheelchair, a tilting wheelchair with head support, a walker and a recliner chair, which, after a few minutes in the chair, my mom says, all is well in the world. They also provide financial assistance for the rental of a stair lift so my mom is able to continue living at home. She still has a very active social life revolving around bridge and canasta card games, as well as lots of social visits with friends and family, because she's got this miraculous speech app called Moira with an Irish accent. All these things that the ALS Society have provided and told us about have improved the quality of my mom's life so much, and we are all so grateful. I'd like to say a huge, so grateful. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone here who has raised so much money for the ALS Society. Your donations today support families just like ours, so thank you. We're here to raise money for the ALS Society and to raise awareness about ALS. I'm so excited, they're talking about what's happening, and we're hoping that with more events like this, there will be an amazing breakthrough and we can figure out what causes ALS, how to control it and slow it down its progress, and hopefully someday find a cure.
I just want to add a few more words. The first thing that I do want to do is acknowledge the amazing network of health providers and support that I know people like Sarah help us navigate and negotiate. Everybody communicates so well with each other. It's made the process so much easier on the family, and I do want to acknowledge all those fabulous people in that network. I want to acknowledge my sister Joanne for being our instigator today, for joining the walk and creating such a fabulous team and Mary's team. And finally, all the folks that donated, all the people on Mary's team and all the people that Mary's team have worked with to get so many donations. We've raised over $12,000. It's absolutely fabulous. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much to the Mitchell family. We really appreciate you being here, for your support. $12,000, that's amazing. And on that level, all of this is actually a piece of a cross-Canada walk to end ALS that has raised over $4 million this year for client services, for care, and for research and advocacy across the country. Amazing, amazing stuff. Now, I also wanted to mention, dogs were mentioned before, but we did forget there are also dragons here for the first time, so we should definitely be inclusive. We are an inclusive organization. Okay, so we're just going to do one last thing here, which is before we follow behind the Mitchell family to the start line over here, we just have to, I've been told that I should tell you how the route's going to go here. So here's what's going to happen, okay? Everyone's going to line up single file behind me at the massage table. Okay, no, I'm being told that that is not correct. We're actually all going to follow the Mitchell family over to the ribbon cutting ceremony. We're going to walk and roll for 3 or 5 kilometers along the path, along the paved route. There will be people, marshals, and signs to help you follow the route correctly. There will also be water stations and washrooms along the way. And we'd like you to come all the way back around to the finish line, where there will be food and refreshments waiting for you. So I wanted to say thank you once again on behalf of ALS Canada for everyone who's here today. What a wonderful day. Please go out and have an awesome time, and we'll see you when you get back here. hope you had a great day out on the walk. Thank you all for coming. We are ready to announce the total, and it is astounding. Once again, you guys have outdone yourselves. Are you ready? $125,000! Woo! And here from Team Woods Iron Horses, we have two special guests to unveil the check. Good job. Pardon me? Thank you to everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the day and keep donating. It's open till the end of the year. We'd love to see you out here today, and we can't wait to see you again at the next Toronto Walk. Thank you so much and have a great one.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. It's Kirak here. You see, the festivities are still going on. All right, guys, I gotta bring it home now. Today was an extremely successful day. You saw the video, you saw all the people that participated. Today, what is it, September 14, 2019, we raised $125,000. It's $125,000 that goes towards helping people afflicted by this disease. It goes towards research. It goes even towards, they were saying, equipment for people who are affected, which is really amazing. Thank you, everyone, for coming and joining. Thank you for watching the video through if you're there at the end, if you're here at the end. I love making these things, and the fact that it hits close to home and it makes a difference in many people's lives, even just to spread awareness, is the reason I do it. I just do it because it matters. Every little bit matters. So thank you all, and I will see you again at the next ALS Walk. This is the first one in downtown Toronto that I've attended, but I plan to attend a bunch more. Okay, guys, bye for now.